American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by X Insurance. X Insurance. From the SIG Sauer Studios. On the Patriot Mobile Platinum microphone. Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Wow, if you ever wondered if there's any enemies of freedom, all you had to do was watch Trump's little gig last night. That was unbelievable. We're going to dissect it for the hour today. Welcome inside the SIG Sauer Studios. I am Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom today and every day, Monday through Friday, in front of this Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center microphone here at the ranch, and it's all being brought to you by the great X Insurance and all of our great partners. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com. We're going to have a blast today. Greg in Dallas, Texas. We're live on all platforms. Go ahead and kick that out there and where to participate in the chat, and then we'll get cracking.
All right, sure. If you want to watch the show, just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters on Rumble, YouTube, and Fascist Book. Over on X, it's at AAR Mark. And if you'd like to join our live chat, all you have to do is head on over to your app store, grab the Telegram messaging app, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Yeah, and that will do it. And I do want to make this mention here, a little public service announcement for our affiliates around the country that carry the broadcast. We had a lot of heavy weather come through the area last night, Greg, so thanks for that, by the way. We talked about that.
You're welcome.
We knew that was coming. And I still can't get out the backsides. I mean, we had a lot of trees down, lost power, and we had internet out for the day. It just came back up. Our power's been flicking. It's been on and off. So if there is an issue, I will just call back in if we happen to lose power here in the studio like we did earlier. And we've got the great McCabe, who is going to help dissect what went down last night in Washington, D.C. McCabe, welcome to the program. I've been looking forward to this today with you, brother. How are you?
Hey, I'm fantastic, Mark, and I had such a blast last night.
Yeah, wasn't that fun?
I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why I have such anxiety over these big Trump speeches, but
his history is why.
It's just because, and I was in the House chamber for Obama's last. And then all four of Trump's speeches to the joint session of Congress. And the last one was such an amazing tour de force of it's staff work that creates great stagecraft, and then the stagecraft creates great statecraft. And the whole world was watching this speech tonight. I don't think, after the tariffs and the news about Zelensky, I don't think Trump has ever had as large an international audience as he had last night, and he just rocked it. It was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I had some statements that I had written down. It was a cluster here today because of power and storms and damage and all that stuff. But let me just read my opening statement that I was going to come up with today for you. I was kind of taking some notes. And then we'll start commenting from there, okay? But my opening would have been, if Neil were not here, did you watch it? Trump's destruction of the Democrat Party is well underway, and there is nothing they can do to stop it. The world witnessed a U.S. president openly mock the political opposition as they sat on their hands last night in opposition to everything the American people, in overwhelming numbers, through Donald Trump, outlined in his incredible speech last night that saw Trump deliver the best, in my opinion, that he has ever delivered. He did it with the authority vested in him by the American voters who support him in his efforts. And by the way, folks, the latest polling is out. 80%, roughly 80% of Americans in a number of polls across the board were in unison with Donald Trump last night, not the Democrats. We'll talk about that in a minute. He did it with the authority vested in him by the American voters who support him in his efforts to overhaul this bloated, overweight beast of a federal government defined by decades of Democrat waste, fraud, and corruption. And allow me to mention the Republican establishment, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't have clean hands here either. Trump doesn't care. Work with me to fix the nation or get out of my damn way. The incredibly disgusting behavior last night that we witnessed, that the world witnessed by the Democrat Party, was on display for the entire world to witness as Trump singled them out individually, mocked them and their soul-crushing, destructive policies. And frankly, folks, they have nowhere to turn at this point. It's not a tough call to make right now that I believe we are witnessing the complete implosion of the Democrat Party right before our eyes. And it couldn't be more fun to watch as they self-destruct publicly. And of course, now Neil is here to discuss that with us. But Neil, I stand by all of that. And the after effects of what we're seeing from the likes of Shifty Schiff and the Democrat apologists all over X, formerly known as Twitter, and other public forums, has just been remarkable to watch. I don't know if they don't get it. I don't know if they're stupid. I don't know, because last night had to be designed by the Democrat machine at the top. They didn't stand for anything, and the world watched it. Let's go. Let's start. Have some fun. Take it away.
Yeah, I think there's actually, I haven't seen it, but somebody actually put together a montage. There's like 20 or 30 House Democrats who released videos all using the exact same script.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, yeah, obviously this is central control. They were told nobody stands, nobody claps, and Trump called him out. So he must have had a heads up, or somebody must have told him that they've been given orders to sit on their hands, because right off the bat, he's like, these people aren't going to clap. These people aren't going to, these people refuse to be enthusiastic about great things. And then at one point, he pointed at him, called them all lunatics.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about the war in Ukraine. And he goes, do we want this war to go on forever? And he's like, Pocahontas wants it to go on forever. And it's just like, bam, bam, bam. It was insane that the Democrats had to sit there and take it. And the way he, in football, they talk about how a quarterback's footwork, how he moves, how he steps into a pocket, and he sort of avoids the rush, goes takes a step to the left, a step to the right. The way Trump moved around the rostrum last night was so cool. He's so content with himself. He's so comfortable in his own skin. He has that supreme confidence that he is the messenger and instrument of our Lord to make America great again. And
well, he made that point. He distinctly pointed that out last night when he stated at Butler that he honestly believes that he was saved by God to make America great again. And he got a rousing ovation.
Remember.
But, yeah, it's just incredible to watch.
I don't remember all of the stooges that the Red Sox got from the Los Angeles Dodgers for Mookie Betts. There's like David Price, Connor Wong, an old pair of cleats, a bag of sunflower seeds. I mean, you consider the worst trades in the world, and a lot of them involve the Boston Red Sox. Raleigh fingers for Danny Kahr, for example. But with the Red Sox getting Danny Kahr and the Yankees getting, Raleigh fingers, it's and you think about the trades. I think the most unbalanced, unfair trade in world history was J.D. Vance for Mike Pence. And imagine if they had allowed Trump to return to the White House in 2020, right now we would be talking about, isn't it great that Pence is Trump's third term? And wasn't Karen Pence so beautiful last night? And we would have no idea how conniving and criminal and treacherous that these people were. There's so many people who were exposed over the last 4 years, and we would have never known. And they took their shot. When they blocked Trump from the White House, they used every trick in the book. There isn't a single thing that they didn't do. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They charged him with BS misdemeanor bookkeeping in New York. They went after him as an insurrectionist in Georgia. They had the FBI on him. They had the Justice Department on him. It's like they tried to shoot him twice. And it's like now this man has no F's left, Mark.
Now, and look, I would take issue because I don't think it would have been Pence's Trump's third term. I think we would have had a Democrat in office. Again, I say that believing in my heart and soul that
point. I take your point, but
we likely would have not. Yeah, listen, we had to go through what we had to go through. We had to go through it in order to get a second Trump term, and that's what's giving him the authority, the mandate that he feels from the people Don't think for 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, they don't have internal polling showing all this. They do. They know damn good and well what's going on. Nothing in Washington happens in a vacuum. Take my word for that. It's true. They know. And they knew it when they went in. And the speechwriters who worked with Donald Trump on this were well aware of that. And they knew how he was going to deliver this. And he delivered it succinctly, expertly, and just pricelessly. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. We'll continue with the great Neil McCabe. We'll have some fun at their expense. I've got an audio clip that I really want to play for you that, believe it or not, came off of TikTok, but I have to go through it during the break and make sure that it's FCC friendly. If it is, we'll play it. If not, well, we'll have to edit some of it out because I want you to see it. We'll be right back.
The following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, welcome back to the show indeed. We're going to have fun in this hour because of last night. Patriot Mobile representatives will be on the program with me tomorrow, the bottom half of the hour, from 34 minutes up to the top of the hour in the second half with us. And Friday, I've just got confirmed, it looks like Eli Crane, U.S. representative from Arizona's District 2, good friend of mine, along with Quang, both of them will be joining us on the Friday broadcast from the top of the hour to the bottom of the hour at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. You don't want to miss that, but if you do, I'm going to replay it on Sunday's broadcast for a much, much, much larger audience on hundreds of stations instead of about 60 stations, because it's going to be that good. Neil McCabe, welcome back into the 6 Hour Studios with me, my brother. Now I'm going to play a clip, Neil, that popped up on TikTok. I don't have it. TikTok. And it is absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, I'm going to do old school way. I'm going to have to hold my phone up to the microphone because I was unable to get this to the network in time to grab this audio and pull it down. But you'll be able to hear it clearly, and it is just so refreshing to hear. Let's give it a listen. Here we go.
Y'all, this is too much. I am watching this address to the Joint Congress. Let me tell you guys something. The Democrats, if you were a Democrat, you should be so embarrassed. They're acting like little bitty kids. Like they all got an attitude. They had to kick Al Green out because he running there shaking the stick. Nancy Pelosi slobbering on herself. Hakeem Jeffries sitting over there. And did you see Jasmine Crocker when Al Green got kicked out? She sit down like, I don't think I should do it no more. You should not. They all over there holding up signs, somehow false and Elon and all of this. They are so embarrassing. I wouldn't want to be a Democrat, but you know what this does? It lets me know that I'm on the right side, because everything that man is saying is good for America. And now you see who does not want America to prosper. You see who does not care about America. Them Democrats sitting over there with an attitude. I'm sick of them. Oh my God, they're embarrassing. I couldn't be called a Democrat. No way. They look like old, brittle, demonic demons. They look like gremlins, just bitter bigots. They just look like their life sucks. Their life sucks. They look unhappy. I wouldn't want to be married to none of them, honestly. They look like they are just terrible in a relationship. Like they frown up at everything. You can't be yourself, can't have no fun. They're bullies. They suck. I am so glad Trump is back in office. Because look at the leadership. This is rate the leadership. I'm going to give them a thumbs down. Can we fire all of them? They don't even want to collaborate with the president. You know, that's supposed to be in leadership, collaboration. They don't even want to do that. They don't even care that things are going good. Did you hear the stuff that he was listing that they found? With the waste? And I'm glad he called Stacey Abrams out too. But I'm sick of black Democrats. You know what? Y'all taking the fall. You got them white Democrats and put y'all up in the front for y'all to take the fall. Now y'all looking stupid and ignorant. I'm glad they put Al Green's old funky behind out. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of all these old bigots. Go America.
Oh, good heavens. Neil, I have not. We live in fascinating times. That was absolutely wonderful to listen to. I cracked up when I heard it today. I just want to hear your comments.
Yeah, they've really lost the plot. It's bizarre that we were told that this race was so close in November.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
But that's what they said, and it's like, after the election, the Harris people were like, yeah, well, we were behind from the start. We didn't have a single poll that showed us ahead. When CNN and MSNBC put out their polls showing that we were up a point or close, we were like, whoa, no way, because we didn't think we could ever win. But before the election, everybody was saying that Harris had it, and that Harris was expanding the map, and Harris was into Georgia, and Harris was making Texas competitive. And actually, when you look at them now, they've absolutely lost the plot. And then for this woman, like the backbone of the sort of tribal coalition that makes up the Democratic turnout model, the cornerstone of that is African American women. If you've lost African American women, then good night, Irene, because even more than overeducated white suburban women,
Right,
you know,
right.
right? The Karens, you know, if you've lost the black women, and it's like they just can't take it anymore. And it's, you know, and these people, you know, it's like they're looking at the Democrats to say, okay, what do you have? And they literally have
Nothing.
nothing.
They have nothing. Look, it's not a stretch to say this. This is my opinion. And I believe, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I thought long and hard about how to articulate this on the program today. And I think the easiest way to do it is, you know, I was putting some bullet points down. You know how it is, you know, when you're doing show prep and all. I was writing some points. And I got, you know, don't even worry about that. Just let this out because it's true and it's honest. And again, it's my opinion. It's likely many of your opinion as well, too. But as far as the Democrat Party is concerned, Neil, I'm old enough to remember when the Democrat Party controlled Congress for 40 plus years. The first president I voted for was Ronald Reagan. I was 18 years old, so I'm dating myself. And I watched the epic battles that he and Tip O'Neill did, political battles they did, but they were very close friends, which we don't see in politics anymore. They hate each other. Trump would reach out to them. He mentioned last night how sad it was that these people won't stand up. I could cure whatever disease it is that would wipe out nations, and they won't get up. They won't clap. He can, you know, and the Democrats are out there saying that he was using a kid with brain cancer as a prop. You know, they'll just find evil and negativity in absolutely everything. But again, I'm old enough to remember when the Democrat Party controlled Washington for 40 years. And where I'm going with that is every generation in that 50-year span over the last 50 years is now watching a party literally throw dirt on itself and destroy itself. They are destroying themselves right before our very eyes. My kids see it. Now, they see it from a different perspective because they weren't around to see Reagan and, you know, Tip and everything that the Democrats had done over the last 40 years or during that 40-year reign. But they've seen it since they've been old enough to follow it, and they see it. So generations of people and voters are seeing the same thing, maybe from a different perspective because of their time stamp in life. But Neil, they're
30.
done. It's we've got 30 seconds, and we're going to go to a break, and I'll come back to you on this. But I do not believe it is a stretch to say this. The Democrat Party, as you've known it, however it is that you've known it, over however many years it's been in your life, in your generation, is over. They will likely, if they keep this up, I'll give them this. If they keep this up, and it appears they're going to, they're finished as a party. I don't think they'll ever recover, ever, after this. They will likely, if they keep this up, they will likely never win another national election in, could be many. My kids could be my age
20
before the Democrats win another party because they're not going to be able to right this ship in the next 24 months before midterms come up. We'll get Neil McCabe's perspective on all that and more when we come back. Don't go away.
Daniel Defense firearms are guaranteed for life, trusted worldwide, and designed, engineered, and manufactured right here in America. Daniel Defense, freedom, passion, precision.
Yeah, welcome back, guys. 6 Sauer Studios are fired up for you. Mark Walters in front of the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center. Mike, if you're watching, you can see this phone I'm holding up. That is a Patriot Mobile activated phone. You can activate one too. PatriotMobile.com/AAR. PatriotMobile.com/AAR. We'll be talking with Patriot Mobile representatives for a couple segments on tomorrow's broadcast. And on Friday, as I mentioned, Representative Eli Crane from Arizona, U.S. Representative Eli Crane, will be here along with Quang. Hopefully he can jump in as well. That's what the office in Washington is attempting to put together right now for us. But that should occur tomorrow. And I will replay that again on Sunday for a much larger audience because I want everybody to hear what we talk about. Eli, of course, was in the chamber yesterday as well. Neil McCabe, welcome back, my brother.
It's you were talking about the Democratic Party's dominance. Mm-hmm. I would basically say that from 1932 with FDR straight through to Newt Gingrich and in 1994 with the Contract with America.
Right.
Basically, for 60 years, the Democratic Party certainly dominated. In that 60 years, the Republicans probably had control of the House for about maybe 4 years, and then maybe control of the Senate for another 4 years. And it's like, but never, it was always like one shot, and then the Democrats would have it for another 10.
Right.
And, maybe the White House was 3-1 in those 60 years. And it's like, but they always had that, they always had the base of the working people, the common man. And then when they combined, oh my goodness, it's so ridiculous. I remember the first guest that Reagan had was a guy who had dived into the Potomac River to save someone's life.
Yeah, after the crash on the 14th Street Bridge.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're off to the races. And these stories were always interesting. And so even when Clinton did it or when Obama did it, it was like, okay, and it's like the people that Trump was highlighting, these weren't like fascists. Mm-hmm. These were like mothers who lost their daughters to an illegal migrant. These are people who are, that Border Patrol guy who was like in a firefight with the cartels. There's that kid who wants to go to West Point, and his father was a police officer killed in Los Angeles. And how, it's like a 15-year-old boy was told he had 6 months to live with brain cancer. He's still alive and kicking, and they put him in the Secret Service. And the way he hugged the head of the Secret Service, and it's like the idea that guy's the same guy you see in all the pictures of Butler, Pennsylvania, when Trump has his fist up and he's going fight, fight, fight. That guy who's now part of the Secret Service, the guy being hugged by that boy just spontaneously, was the guy who was shielding Trump from other bullets. And how do you not buy into that?
Well, okay. No, I'm glad you went there. I'm glad you went there. Under what condition, under what circumstance would a Democrat, now obviously they were given marching orders. There's no question about that. No question. It likely came from Hakeem and Chuck Schumer, the dinosaurs. We'll go there in just a second because it's the dinosaurs that have destroyed the party and will continue to destroy the party as long as voters keep putting them in office. But having said that, under what circumstances would a Democrat find it bad to get off their ass, stand up in the House chamber, and recognize the mother and sister of Laken Riley, who, by the way, lives 2 miles from my home, literally 2 miles from my home. She is buried right around the corner from me. Under what circumstances would they find it reprehensible to stand up and honor the family of another slain woman out of Texas? Under what circumstances would they find it reprehensible to stand up and honor a young 13-year-old boy with dreams and aspirations, surviving brain cancer? Under what circumstances would Democrat leadership say, don't stand? That's the most un-American thing I can even imagine. How do they believe? And this way, it's hard to get into the psychology of this, Neil. We'll try. But what goes through their minds? Under what circumstances do they believe that that's a bad thing? Now, I have my own opinion on that, but I want to hear your response first.
Well, I just don't believe, and I've said this before about other people. I just don't believe that they sincerely have any feelings at all. That they're not, they don't think about things as being cultural problems or economic problems or criminology or public safety problems or national security problems. For a Democrat, everything is a political problem, and it is treated that way. And so, yeah, a lot of those guys would have loved to have jumped up and applauded, but the politics dictated that they didn't. So you had, so example, the Biden administration, right? Everyone trumpeted that Trump had put so many federal judges on. The Democrats actually put as many judges on the federal bench as Trump plus one. And
I believe it was +2. It might have even been 2 or 3, but
maybe
regardless.
+2, right? So
right.
you're making my point, right? So I don't know what it was. Let's say it's 300, just to make it math easy. Only 6 of those nominees had a Democrat vote against them. And usually it was Joe Manchin. Like 4 times it was Joe Manchin.
Right.
Whereas when Republicans are up, it's like, oh, I don't know. You had Matt Gaetz. Listen, Pam Bondi's fantastic, but Matt Gaetz is fantastic too. And it was Senate Republicans who blocked it. Like Tom Homan in the first term couldn't get confirmed because the Republicans blocked him. Russ Vought, who's now Trump's director of Office of Management and Budget. Russ Vought was the acting OMB director in the first term because Senate Republicans wouldn't confirm him, right? It's like the Democrats never think like that. There were no lone wolves. There were no Democrats going rogue. There were no Democrats thinking for themselves. They were told, sit on your hands. And that's what they did.
Does it make sense to you from now you're a political strategist. Does it make sense to you? Because it does not to me. I can't find the sense in this whatsoever. That anyone in party leadership on the left would say this is a good thing for us to do. This is what we need to do. When 80% of Americans, as we've just seen today after Trump's speech, which was brilliant, agree with him, under what circumstances do they find that to be a winning solution, a winning strategy? Explain that to me if you can.
I have a lot of strong ideas about how things should be done in my professional life. But when I'm training somebody, what I tell them is, I'm not asking you to tell me this is right. I just want you to accept that my method is a valid method amongst others. It is a valid political strategy to sit on your hands and basically wait for Trump to blow himself up. And then you are in a position to say, I never went along with it. We never gave cover. So when the thing turns around, nobody can say the Democrats gave any votes. It's what the Republicans did to Obama over and over again, where there were so many bills and other things where not a single Republican voted for it. It's a bad strategy. But it's the legitimate one, I guess, amongst other strategies.
Maybe it is. Maybe
not
it is
genuine.
No, maybe it is. Maybe that is what they're looking at, but it's failing. And they have to know that it's failing. So again, this is where I get very concerned about this, because when you cut the head off of a snake, the rest of the body, the head can still bite you. The Democrats aren't going away quietly, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the death knell, literally the final gasps of breath from what's left of this un-American party. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the party that wants to take your guns away from you, and you see how they operate. They're flat out evil. We'll be back right after this. One more segment with Neil. Don't go away.
This segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Daniel Defense. Visit DanielDefense.com. Now, back to the show.
Make sure to check out DanielDefense.com. DanielDefense.com. You can also support the Double D Foundation.org at Daniel Defense, who are supporting the youth shooting sports across the country. That's the Double D Foundation.org. They are doing great work. Marty and Cindy Daniel over there. Also, our other partners, AmmoSquared.com. I got my notification from them today. It's garbage day at the ranch, and I got my notification on Wednesday. I'm over 2,000 rounds combined. I mentioned that, I believe, yesterday. But Ammo Squared's got you covered. If you don't have room to store your ammo, Ammo Squared does. In fact, putting up another operation in Texas, growing like a weed over there because of you. So support them, AmmoSquared.com. Great site. It's like a 401k for your ammo purchases. You got to love it. Don't forget the old Emerson knives. Emerson knives, here it is. Boom, right there. If you're watching, that's a beautiful Emerson knife. You can check them out at emersonKnives.com, emersonKnives.com. You can use the promo code AAR, of course, for 10% off. HeavensHarvest.com has your food supplies covered for you. If you're going to be doing any camping, fishing, and you want some meals while you're sitting on a boat or at a campsite, they got the 15-minute heat-in-the-bag deals. Got to love it. Every single one of them. And don't forget PatriotsRelief.com, PatriotsRelief.com. You can find all of our partners, including Bud's Gun Shop online, our exclusive online retailer, budsgunshop.com. All of them are available at armedamericanradio.com. Neil McCabe, welcome back in, brother.
And let's not forget that in the midst of all of this, Justin Trudeau met with the King of England, and the King of England posted a picture on his official account wearing a Canadian Navy uniform and his Canadian medals, whatever role he has, I guess, is the Supreme Commander of the Royal Canadian Navy. And that was a shot across the bow. And then the King of England just met with Zelensky, and China said that they're ready to go to war with the United States. And so, things are getting interesting, but I am not worried. If it was another president, I would be concerned. But, it comes to England. Listen, if England doesn't want to be our friend, then fine. God bless you.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. Trump's got them all boxed in, and I love what I'm seeing. I do. And by the way, I have a very dear, lifelong friend listening in Connecticut. I love you. You know who you are. Thanks for tuning in today. Means a lot. Neil, let's talk about the after effects of this, because the message, again, appears to be unified. You're seeing and hearing the same thing on the liberal networks. Nobody's watching them anymore. Nobody believes them anymore. Shifty Schiff is out there saying the same things. If you look at all the leftist tweets out there, if you look at Pocahontas' tweets, if you look at, I guess it's Murphy and the rest, you read all their tweets. They're all saying the same thing. The after message is also failing to resonate because people see it. Again, the Democrats are staying with this, don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe what you heard Trump say. None of what he said is good for America, when every bit of it is good for America, and an overwhelming near 80% of Americans believe it. So they're continuing the narrative, the lie. How's that going to play out for them in the long run, do you believe?
It's going to hurt them. And I think, the easiest way to look at Trump is that, in 2016, when I was working at Breitbart and was doing the Breitbart polling with Pat Goodell and Doug Kaplan.
Right.
The day of the election, we released a poll that said that 45% of respondents had a highly negative opinion of Trump. This was the Breitbart poll.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth was, even people who didn't like Trump agreed with him. And Pat Goodell, who's a brilliant pollster, look him up, Caddell. Pat Goodell told me that the reason why Trump was going to win is that 15 to 20% of the people who said they were going to vote for Hillary were doing it out of loyalty. But 15 to 20% actually agreed with Trump on the issues. And when those people actually voted, they're going to vote with their own self-interest, whether they like Trump or not. And then after that, we've had 10 years of Trump, and these people haven't learned you cannot attack Trump personally. You have to attack his issues, because on his issues, the people agree. And that's why Trumpism will succeed, because the politicians who want to be liked, who want the nice editorials, and they want CNN to say wonderful things about them, they achieve nothing. Trump gets things done because he focuses on the agenda, and that's what people want. People want someone to do something, and he is doing it. People have talked, everybody says, well, he's cutting the federal workers the wrong way. He's using a battle axe. He should be using a scalpel. Where was your scalpel? Where was your scalpel in the last 40 years? Who has ever done anything? They're saying, Trump's not following the process. He's not respecting the norms. That's not the way to do it. What have you ever done? People are so sick of it. And when they see Trump making a decision and taking action, they're responding to it, Mark.
Yeah, the norms that you're referring to, Neil, are the last 40 plus years, 50, 60 years of corruption. I always love getting this question. How did we get here? You hear people say in conversation, how did America get here? Well, it's a real simple answer. It just took 250 years for us to bloat to the point we're at, and it took a Donald Trump to come along to say, that's it, enough. I'm going to work on behalf of the American people to put a stop to this. I'm going to see to it that your gun rights are no longer infringed. Hopefully that happens. I was disappointed that didn't come up last night, but I gave him a pass on that one because the rest of the speech was so incredibly beautiful and so well laid out. But it's a real simple equation. It just took this long for us to get here. Thank God Donald Trump is here. Why? Tim Walz is running around. There's now rumors that he wants to run in the next election in 2028. Does this guy honestly believe that Americans don't believe he's the clown that he is? But is it delusional? Again, I'm asking psychological questions I don't have the answers to. But are these people delusional? Do they honestly believe what's coming out of their mouths? Does Shifty Schiff believe what he tweets? Does Murphy and Blumenthal believe their tweets? Does Pelosi believe what she's saying? Or have they just been getting away with it because of the media that they've had in their hip pocket for so many years?
The answer is
that they
no.
can say it.
They can't.
I don't know. Maybe they
believe it.
Maybe they do.
There's no
Neil.
way. There's no way they believe it. It's just everything is a tactic. Everything is it. All of their rhetoric, all of their words are precisely refined. Their messages are field tested, and they put them out.
30.
It's just like they're blaming Trump over eggs. It's just
Right.
Go on. So many things go. There's so like, oh yeah, sure. So we're going to impeach the guy because over eggs. Maybe not.
Now, look, if that's all the Democrats have is eggs, and they don't even have that. Our egg prices were going up under Biden. The gaslighting continues from these folks, ladies and gentlemen, and you're witnessing the after effects. The desperation is beautiful to watch. They simply got nothing. Neil McCabe, I love you. Thank you for being here. Always fun. I appreciate you jumping in.
Thanks for having me on, Mark.
Oh, I know how busy you are, and I really appreciate you jumping in today. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow on the Friday's Daily Defense, if everything works out right, and it looks like the D.C. office has reached out with some time slots, so hopefully Representative Eli Crane, U.S. House of Representatives, District 2 in Arizona, will be here, along with State Representative from Arizona, the House Judiciary Chairman, ardent supporter of your gun rights, that would be Quang will be here as well. So we'll have a little mini roundtable with those two powerhouses. We'll play that again on Sunday because it's an important interview, and I want everybody to hear it on some of those other stations that don't have The Daily Show.
20.
Until we meet on the radio tomorrow, remember, carry on, carry off, and carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. No self-respecting caveman would have ever been caught outside his cave without his club. Going back to the people, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. See you on the radio tomorrow.
You've just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by X Insurance. X Insurance on the Armed American Radio Network.
Okay, guys, thanks for jumping in with us today. Appreciate it very much. It's, like I said at the outset, it's some pretty nasty weather yesterday that was, thought we were going to have to do it old school way by the phones today. And I thank Neil for jumping in here. He was prepared to host the show if necessary. And fortunately, we got power and we got internet back from the studio, so we're good to rock and roll anticipate no problems for the rest of the week as well. So, guys, enjoy watching this stuff. Enjoy watching the meltdown. This is once-in-a-lifetime opportunity stuff. You're watching the implosion of a major political party right before your eyes in America, and it is just going to get funner and funner and funner to watch as they continue to throw dirt on themselves. Enjoy it. Don't let it drive you crazy. Cherish it. Enjoy it. It's incredibly fun to watch. Don't stress out over it, but it's fun. It really, truly is. So enjoy your day, guys. Stay safe. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow.